Alrighty, you guys, so let's talk about global. News came out a while back. I mean, there was, within the JJK Phantom Parade, there was I don't know, like an interview with the community manager and whatnot, basically giving us answers to the questions that we as a community are asking. Things for the game, improvements, etc., all that good stuff. So things went down. Infos have been given, and I'm gonna be real, low-key, we as free-to-play are kind of cooked with the direction that they're taking this game, which I'm not exactly happy with. They didn't have to do what they're planning on doing, and saving and summoning is going to be way more crucial now more than ever, right? Like, honestly, I think for right now, if you want to reroll whilst Yuta is here, I mean, to be fair, the perfect time for you to reroll would have been when Megami was still here with Yuta, but this Ghetto for right now for global is still fairly solid. So if you want to reroll and start a fresh account by, you know, having Gojo, Yuta, Ghetto, of course, now's your chance to have an account to be started in the best possible way. Is also very crucial because it allows you to save for a long period of time in terms of the cubes, because you then don't need to chase after any type of new characters coming, of course. Another thing that we have to now take into consideration is what's limited and what is not limited. I've done a video on it talking about how global needs to, or especially free to play, to look into limited characters. So for example, in the case of the movie banner, these are limited characters. So if you want to start fresh, so that way you've got the best of the best characters at the very beginning, and then you can quite comfortably skip out on like the general new characters that are eventually going to be added into the overall pool. You can quite do so and then prepare for yourself for this next set of limited characters, which I was saying before, it's the half anniversary, but might not be the case anymore for global. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So let me kind of break down on what's going on and all the news that we have gotten. So went onto Reddit, there was a whole debrief of what was said. Shout out to Height United 8026, they kind of went a little bit more in depth for us. So let's just kind of run through on what was being said within the interview. So when it comes to the responses from the community manager, talking about global and what their plan is. So number one, trying to give out as many cubes as possible as they can. They face pressure from many entities, so can't just hand out cubes, but more is being given already. I'm very curious to see on how that's going to affect the game, because knowing the speed that they go at, it has to evenly match with the amount that they're giving to us. Because as of right now, I'm just saying JP, well then again, JP celebrating their anniversary, so of course they're going to be handing out more. But then again, global did hit some milestones for the release, and we got like a measly 1,000 cubes and a paid multi reward. Like, it was, I'm sorry, they could have done way better. So like, already, you know, we're giving out more. Well, you could do better, you could do better. Scheduled confirmed to be very different, so this is going to be a big kicker for us. Tower adversary coming extra early. It will release in chunks and not all at once. So that's the new game mode that I spoke about, where you can get like over 10,000 free cubes. Obviously it's going to be done in sections, so probably floor 10 to 20 will be the initial release, but it's a floor system. It is a fun game mode, I thoroughly enjoy it, and obviously it's going to be one of the best ways to go about getting resources, but more importantly those cubes. So that's going to be the next game mode. So on JP, this came out during the half anniversary, but they're planning to drop in it early, so I'll take it, can't complain, we'll take it. Quote from Zanin, no clue if we're going to get the same units as JP half annie. I'll let you decide given the info when the half annie units will come for sure sooner. Oh, so yeah, this is where I'm kind of questioning on what on God's green earth they are planning on how they're going to be releasing, because like, some of these characters are like celebration worthy. Like I don't understand on how this is going to work. Yeah, okay. PE transfer system is coming much earlier. Should be around 2 to 3 months from how he worded it. Honestly, it should have been here day one. I'm gonna keep it real. It should have been here day one. That low-key pisses me off, the fact that it's not here yet. The fact that it wasn't here from the very beginning. So we're gonna have to wait a bit. To those that summoned, your pity, it's gone to waste. This is why I say if you want to reroll now, especially for free to play, now's your best time to do so. So that way you're maximizing your cube intake, not having to worry about the amount that you've wasted because you can't convert it into pity. So yes, but it's going to be releasing before the half annie or like the next set of limited characters. So well, I say that, I'm not going to. Things can change. Rates and pity amount 250 will not change. They will work around it. I know for a fact there was a lot of people complaining about the pity, but yeah, they're not going to change it. Nothing's going to happen to that. I don't know. I think they will work around it means that they're adding the pity early. But yeah, in terms of the gacha pity and guaranteed all that stuff, it's unfortunate, but they're gonna keep it as is. At the very least, I hope they push the rate up to 1% rather than it being 0.7%. But yeah, pity's not going to change. More step-ups coming, probably not paid because of the severe backlash from the 8 million downloads. That was one of the celebration rewards I was talking about, how it's so BS. Like, hey, congrats on hitting this massive milestone. Here's a banner which you can only use paid gems for. Give us even more money. Yeah, so that, okay, so this is kind of given. Like, I knew they were going to do this. Auto mode AR update is being worked on with a lot of effort. The difficulty is the bugs they encounter from transferring region locked versions. Okay, fine. Quote, do not plan based on JP. Do not plan based on JP version. Oh god. Alright, I really want to get into that in just a second. Guilds and guilds and leaderboards are coming. We'll be working off of a Discord bot. So basically what's happening is there is no guilds and leaderboards in the game. They don't plan on implementing it in the game. What they plan on doing is making it so that the guild and leaderboard is going to be on the Discord, and you can link your account. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, so, yeah, okay. Global JP joint celebrations won't happen as of right now. No plans but he found it interesting, like Dolcon. Okay, that's fine. PC launcher will come at some point, as that was expected since JP already has it. Question, will the schedule be accelerated? I believe it will be, yes. Oh god. Will units be added to standard quicker? I'd assume so. No clue if it will be the same batch of units though. Okay, paid banners like they did 8 million downloads will not happen again. Too much backlash, thank god. The future of this game is a positive, not a negative one. Okay, if you make enough noise, they listen. Canon will push for gacha channels. Roadmap being worked on. Many matters strictly follow JP versions. P is something Canon is trying to help get changed. It's difficult though. Trying to get more content and then suggests are vital. Okay, so TLDR. Everything that Global is doing, they are following with what JP has. Okay, what does that mean? There is no global exclusiveness. Everything that JP has will eventually come over to Global. They're not going to change it. There's not going to be anything different. So in terms of whenever new modes or whatever gets announced on JP, it's something that we need to look into now because it's the future for Global basically, right? So that's basically what they're doing. They're not going to do anything new. They're not going to add any changes. If JP makes a change, Global will make a change. If JP makes changes on characters, banners, events, this and that, XYZ, Global will then copy and make those changes. Global will not go out of its way and make changes if JP doesn't have it. So if, for example, you know, we want the pity to be changed. If the pity doesn't change on JP, it's not changing on Global. So that's one thing we need to get cleared up. There will be no global exclusiveness. Okay. In terms of what else was being said, oh yes, the timeline, right? So the timeline for Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade, it was something that we were just kind of going off from the JP side of things, right? Since nothing is changing and they're following JP, and obviously the first hint to say that, yeah, we're not following the timeline is when obviously Junpei was released, and then 3 days after, Megami then released, of course. That was obviously a horrible thing to do, to have two updates drop literally 2 days apart. It was ridiculous. Again, I would say there was a fair amount of backlash on that one. Obviously, the pay-to-win players were going crazy trying to pull Megami, of course. But having a schedule like that, being that accelerated, really just didn't do, let's just say, most of the players any good, right? It was way too rushed, and the unfortunate thing about this is that their plan is is to catch up to JP. They want global to catch up to JP's been out for a whole year. They want to try and make it so that they can catch up to JP, get a whole year worth of content onto global as soon as possible. How on God's green earth they're going to do that, I do not know. Is it going to be good for the game? For me personally, no, because I like my evenly out scheduled, nice paced games. Like with how JP did it, I would have much preferred global to go at that rate, but their plan is to kind of just throw the content down our throat. That being said, in terms of characters, what on God's green earth is going to be happening? Because we've got the red Itadori, we've got the green Gojo, I think Momo's also in the mix of things. The blue Momo, I could be a bit wrong, I think that's a bit later on, or is it before, I'm not too sure. Right? Their scheduling is going to be all over the place, meaning if they want to release Green Gojo next, that's going to be the case. Because if they did follow the JP scheduling, it would be Red Itadori that's next, I'm pretty sure, insane. But they've just admitted to saying that they're going to be accelerating content because they want to catch up to global. JP, and they are going to be releasing characters in different ways, or not in the same order as JP, not in the same order as JP. So like I said, Green Gojo can drop next, and if that is the case, we're cooked. We're cooked. I'm just going to say this to my free-to-play peeps out there, how are we going to be tackling this issue? When it comes to regular banner characters, because obviously the next big regular character banner that we're all going to be focusing on is Green Gojo. If you want to, because if they are committed to put in the newest regular characters in the overall banner more quicker, at a quicker pacing, because that's exactly what they're planning on doing, right? If you're going to quick up the process of the game, then the pacing on you adding new overall general characters into the overall pool has to also be implemented, right? What you guys can do is, if you want to skip out on Green Gojo if you didn't manage to pull him through the free tickets, that's completely fine. You can wait until he's in the general banner and go about getting him through that way. I think, and again, this is to maximize your pools on focusing on the limited characters, because the limited characters are absolutely broken to the absolute T. Alright, so in order to maximize our accounts, that's kind of, I guess, one of the ways that you can really combat with what they're trying to do in terms of the acceleration, of course. But look, I will end it off by saying this. Play the game how you want. Alright, so if you want Green Gojo, if you're interested in this character, that character, then by all means do as you please, right? I think that's kind of what, I mean, again, there's two ways. You either play it how you want to play it, don't really care about what's going on, don't really care about the acceleration, that's completely fine, do as you please. But if you're trying to maximize, be strategic about it, so that way you get the best possible outcome, then that's going to have to be the case, right? Limited characters are going to be the main focus. So, like, now hearing about the acceleration, now that there's a huge chance that Green Gojo is going to be next, I'm now considering on how I want to combat this, because realistically, the half anniversary characters are not going to be dropping in the half anniversary mark. They're going to be dropping potentially early. So, I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the half anniversary will be for global now, if they're going to stick with what JP had. I don't know. Hell, I don't know what's going to be happening between the domain expansion Gojo and the multiple hitter Itadori that first year anniversary is celebrating with. Like, is that going to be the same as global? Probably not. So, yeah. But look, I'm going to let the developers do their thing. We'll see what the plan is. We'll see how the game goes for a couple of months. We'll check back and decide from there on what the outcome is for global. But the ball's in their court, boys. Let's just kind of sit back, watch, see what happens. If we need to make our complaints, we'll make our complaints. We'll let our voices be heard. But from this point on, let them cook, and we'll see what happens.